I don't know. I'm above my pay grade.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Samsung Galaxy Vainglory Invitational. We're live here from E3 at the Los Angeles Convention Center. I'm Humanist, your host for this event. I'm joined by Z Kent, our player analyst. Man, we kicked things off earlier with Team Solo Mid against Hunters in an exciting fashion. Team Solo Mid just came out rolling through them. Now, we've got G2 up against Invincible Armada. This is going to be fireworks. Z Kent, how you feeling?
Honestly, these two teams are absolutely fantastic to watch. G2 ended up with a semifinal placement in the European Championship, and Invincible Armada is a team that I'm sure everyone knows. They've constantly placed in the VIPL. They are always at the top of their game, and I'm really excited to see how these two regions match up.
Yeah, definitely. We don't always get to see regions pitted up against each other, but this is going to be very exciting. G2, you know, they're always at the top of their game. I'm actually pretty curious to see how Majestic's going to come in and have an impact with this team.
Yeah, Majestic is a fantastic player. His saw is always on point, and you can see, like, all three of these players are just really, really solid at each of their roles.
Yeah, they definitely are. We talk about these teams a lot. We've done research on them. We watch their VODs. You know, what stands out to you when we look at G2 here?
Honestly, G2 is one of those teams that they always have a very solid strategy coming into the draft. Every single time we watch them play, they are always on point with their picks. They very rarely get outdrafted, and so they can always go into the game expecting to have a very, very even match.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. Dark Potato, he's just a monster in the jungle. Dingo, always on point with his rotation. So this is a team where I think communication's a big deal, and they'll be looking to get a lot of work done here today. As far as like play styles, how do these teams stack up against each other? Well, right here, guys, we're showing Dark Potato. This is your player to watch for G2. This guy, and I said it, he's a monster in the jungle. We know him for his crawl quite a bit, but he'll play anything. His Glaive's also a monster. Yeah. He's not a player that ever hesitates, I notice.
Yeah, every single time we watch him play, he is always very, very confident in that jungle role. And up against any opponent, we've seen him against so many top-tier junglers out of Europe, and he always performs.
Yeah, he definitely does. Across the board, you know, a lot of people talking about Druid for Invincible Armada. And these guys, you know, they do run balanced compositions, but a lot of times they get that hyper carry going on. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Druid is one of those players who you can really rely on to carry your game. So what Invincible Armada likes to do is actually feed a ton of farm over to Druid, and they can always rely on him. He always gets to the late game, and once he gets there, he is just leagues and miles ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. We would expect these pros to have, you know, 10 CS a minute, a little bit higher than that. This guy's getting 14 CS a minute. He's getting every minion in lane and then rotating, taking their back sometimes. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, Druid, absolutely fantastic player. I mean, every single time I watch him play, in the VIPL, in so many different places, you can see his signature heroes, Sky, Vox, those two heroes, you need the farm on. You need to be able to get ahead. And even if you are not able to, you do have a very tough time. But I have never seen Druid fall behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you had a preference, if you got to draft for this team, I mean, out of his signature heroes, what would you pick for him?
Ooh, I would love to see a Crystal Vox come out in this 1.18 update because we've seen it a couple times. It's played out decently, but I really want to see what Druid
There's
can do
been some
with it.
debate about the Crystal Vox, right? And a lot of people choosing to go towards that weapon Vox. It seems a little more reliable in the damage, but, I mean, Crystal Vox is there. It's a real threat.
Oh, yeah, Crystal Vox, incredibly powerful. As long as you focus the right targets, as long as you're not actually hitting the target you're trying to kill, you can be so effective. But the moment you're stuck in that 1v1 situation, you can have a very hard time.
Yeah, 1v1 is ripped for the Crystal Vox. You got to be fighting in that area and just blowing up your target. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good matchup. And like I said, I mean, G2, you know, versus Invincible Armada, we don't get to see these teams going up against each other. So this is pretty exciting to have them all here live at E3 at the Samsung booth.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup. I'm really interested in seeing what will both these teams bring out in the draft because we saw in Europe there's a lot of lands being played, but yet just before this we saw TSM, we saw Hunters, neither of them opting for that lance.
Where was the lance?
Yeah, it's very interesting to see because he is a very powerful pick and he does fit into many compositions. So not seeing him being picked up by either side is something to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we talked about Majestic. He does tend to favor a couple of heroes, but he plays them just to, like, this peak level. It's so hard to deal with. Saw's one of those heroes. Do you think that they go down that route today? Do you think it's ban-worthy?
I would say so. His Saw is definitely one of the top in the world, and Saw is one of those heroes that if you do get ahead, you can completely dominate a match. And even if you are not ahead, he is very tough to deal with.
Yeah, he definitely is. Well, we got our players over here. They're all set up at their desk. We can see they're in the lobby getting ready for that draft. And I'm sure, you know, these guys, they're no strangers to a crowd, right? These guys have played in front of live audiences before. Sometimes a newer team that can kind of get those jitters. But I can see right now these guys jumping into the draft right now. So let's see how it's all going to play out. You know, we can theory craft forever, but we're ready to go.
Celeste fan, right off the bat, that is actually a very solid pick because you see Invincible Armada, they love going to the hyper carries, and Celeste is one of those who, when you get the farm, you are an absolute monster.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when I became Druid, I remember like his Celeste pick stood out to me as just like freakishly devastating. Adagio band and the Sky first pick.
Yeah, the Adagio band very, very standard in 1.18 because he is so powerful, and Sky for Druid, I mean, it's actually a takeaway from Druid because G2 is the one picking him up, and it's really important for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Majestic also a pretty legit Sky player as well. Would you expect this to be a Sky, or do you think this goes to Dark Potato?
I think this is actually going to be a Sky. Dark Potato generally plays those more bruisery heroes.
Right.
I would expect it on a Cruel or maybe Move.
Right. Yeah, that kind of tanky melee bruiser, as you said. Finn first pick. They're highlighted on the Cruel right now. Thoughts?
Honestly, the Finn is always a solid pick. He can take a lot of damage from that forward barrage coming out of the Sky, and also against anyone else that G2 will pick up. We see the Cruel come out from the Savage Armada. This is actually an interesting pick because if you don't play around that Sky very well, you get cut.
Yeah, it's kind of like hit or miss, right? If you lock onto the Sky, you can just be a monster. If you get kited, it can be trouble. Saw is the pick here, so maybe that jungle Sky with Majestic on that Saw.
Yeah, it could very well be a case. I mean, the Saw in lane on for Majestic is absolutely a pivotal pick for G2. Just with the Arden, with the Sky, there's so much backline threat coming out from G2 that's really up to him and Smart to play very well around him.
This is going to be scary. I mean, with Saw, the thing is you have this predictable areas where it's going to be team fighting.
Swap heroes.
I think it's going to be the Vox. We've seen a lot of Vox today. Oh my goodness, this is going to be exciting. Last thoughts?
Honestly, the Druid's Vox is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, guys. Well, we have a couple of studs ready to call all of the action up on the stage. Action Jackson, Forecourt Jester, take it away.
Always a pleasure there, Humanist. Absolutely great analyst, and just listening to it all coming together. The drafts, they look phenomenal.
They really do. I'm super psyched to see Majestic playing this Saw. When he had a brief stint as a sub on Team Secret, he was playing that quite frequently. It's something that obviously they like to use, so bringing that over to G2 here could be of great benefit to them. And on the flip side, Invincible Armada have a cool comp too.
Yeah, well, right now, there's two big things to look at. First, we are getting that Crystal Vox. He's going to be Druid. He's going to be on that Crystal. And it kind of just set up because that was all that's left. Celeste ban, Adagio ban, and the first pick going to G2, getting that Sky. That's great for G2. It's terrible for IA, but it's going to be that Vox. And this is one of those signature heroes that Druid is known for. Druid, amongst the best laners in the world in this game. How's he going to match up against Majestic?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Obviously, Majestic, if he can start to ramp up, spin up, and start attacking Druid, he can do so much damage very quickly. But especially if Druid goes Crystal Power, it's so easy for him to actually harass Majestic behind the creeps.
And it is going to be Dark Potato on that Sky. Something that Zekan did say, he's known for more of that bruiser-ish. I'm kind of curious if the Kroll was kind of the big signature to that one, but they find each other in the bush.
Yeah, Dingo already taking a bit of damage here. Is Mango.
Mango
He's
doesn't
taking so much. He doesn't realize that Dark Potato is just using that forward barrage, doing a lot of damage. Wine having to back up towards the lane as well. Invincible Armada definitely coming out behind in that trade.
And they're caught with their pants down while they're shopping because it is a full screen takeover. And yeah, if you don't notice, then I've definitely fallen to it right there. But they do stay out the forwards. The tempo is established. Dark Potato, double crystal bit moving forward. Has Dingo there and going for this invade.
Yeah, Mango should be able to spot this one out along with Wine. They know what's going on. He's going to try and start the fight. Quibble doing a good chunk of Dark Potato's health. He's not easily going to be able to get out of this one. Oh, the smite doesn't quite do enough. Wine has to secure that one for Armada. They're going to pick up first blood in this series.
Dingo has a flare, but he put down the trap instead, and he did not flare the bush. That's exactly why Dark Potato walked right into it. And if there's anybody you could never really count on getting away from if you face check, it's that Crow. I mean, not only do the shadows empower him, but that Spectral Smite, you saw it come down, nearly took out Dark Potato very quickly.
Indeed. So Dingo, he's got to move back up the lane right now. Been forced away by Wine. I like that Dingo tried to put a bit of pressure there.
Yep.
Maybe still some camps, but
Majestic's in
not
trouble.
Going to stick around. Majestic very low on the health. Druid is just going to force him out of lane right now. I guess Majestic having to back towards the base. Dark Potato, he's back in the action. but it's going to be hard for him and Dingo to fight with Dingo so low.
Yeah, and Dingo's actually out of vision. That's the last flare. He does actually keep Mango at bay, but Mango's level 3. He's just totally, not really threatened by the fact that he has to solo jungle at this point. Wine is here with Druid, and they are going to be doing that rotation. Another flare will deny it.
Wow, look at the damage coming out of the forward barrage. Dark Potato, he just needs to get a basic attack down. He finds it. Oh, he's not actually going to jump forwards, though. Doesn't want to commit that deep. Wine's going to be able to get away.
All right, well, Wine will be rebuffed. Still, I mean, they've created the space here for Majestic. Druid did not get his shopping done.
All right, so Druid having only got the Swift Shooter right now, how bad is this going to be from in lane? I mean, Majestic has a lot of damage under his belt.
I mean, once Kroll's done in the jungle and Finn comes through, I mean, I'm fairly sure they can just kind of 3-man. They can push out the lane, they can 3-man rotate down for Druid, or somebody can come and freeze the lane. It's not really going to be too much of an issue. Majestic is fairly immobile. It's not like he can jump him or anything.
Yeah, speaking of immobile Majestic, he is way out of position right now, trying to use that roadie run to get back, but he actually flips into the bush. Mango closes that gap, takes down the kill. Invincible Armada, they're off to a great start in the early game.
Yep, 2-0 and 500 gold. Dark Potato, though, is solo farming. We're going to get Arden there to freeze that lane. As I said, it's not really going to be a problem for Druid. He's now gone back. He's picked up one crystal bit. He has the boots there as well, so he is going to be well on his way here for that alternating current. 30 CS to the 27. As Majestic, you can see him ramping up for the weapon damage, but when you leave him alone and you cross this midsection in the map as Saw, you got to be very, very careful of these ganks.
Yeah, I really feel like he felt like the roadie run was going to be able to get him away from anything that happened there. He'd just be able to flip off of whoever tried to close
Right, but
the
you
gap.
saw what Mango did, right?
Yeah.
He just kept trying to get behind him and behind him and behind him. That's why he flipped upwards instead of backwards.
And Mango was way too big for Majestic that early on. So
has
obviously,
Majestic is getting destroyed.
yeah, this is what we're talking about with the Crystal Box, guys. You just hit the target near your target, you do more damage. So he's actually able to harass Majestic behind the creeps in lane. Which is really why it's working out so well. Majestic forced back yet again. Looking at the farm, you can see he's falling behind a little.
Yeah, a little, because well, not only has he died, but he's had to go back. He doesn't exactly come back to lane very quickly, and now he is right under that turret. But getting the last hit's not going to be too much of a trouble. But, I mean, the tempo is being set. Invincible Armada has rebuffed that early invade. They've taken a 2-0, and now they can rotate. Now they have a little bit of items under their belt. Dingo and Majestic here. I mean, if they get 3-man jumped, it's just it.
Wow,
Look at Majestic. Those resonance bounces are amazing.
That damage was ridiculous from Druid. He's doing a great job of stopping Majestic from really ramping up here, both in terms of his items and the spin-up stacks.
Are they going for an
can't really
invade?
trade?
No.
Dingo, you gotta be careful here too. Bubble coming down shortly, I'm sure. Wine is trying to go for some harassment.
Yeah, but a little bit of harassment there from Wine is going to be totally fine. And, well, I mean, Druid, he just cleans up. Now we got all this pressure pushing in. Dark Potato and Dingo are going to be visible on the map. Saw's already back, and, I mean, it's free reign right here.
Dingo, he's really got to be careful right now. One good thing for G2, though, Dark Potato has hit level 6. So he's
But so
gonna
is
be,
Mango.
Yeah, just now. So Dark Potato hit it slightly sooner, but couldn't do anything with it. I was hoping maybe he'd be able to get some kind of a gank off with the death from above, but there's just no good opening. Wine is doing a great job of covering Druid right now.
Well, we also have a double, well, like, once level 6 gets in here,
Whoa,
Wine!
that's a lot of
What?
damage. Druid, he might be able to Sonic Zoom forward here, pick up the kill.
Oh.
Very close from Hell's Heart, coming through from Mango, but Majestic is able to stay alive for the time being.
So the point I was trying to make is that once we hit level 6, we have 2 stuns and a silence available. Because, well, maybe level 8, because Wine has to get that fully done A, but...
Invincible Armada, they're looking for some kind of a fight right now. Dark Potato trying to start his strike back to safety, but man, Druid is wiping them right now. Dingo splitting up from Dark Potato. Knows that they can only really chase one of these. Mango trying to get those shadows. Give him the speed boost. Dark Potato thinks he can maybe fight this one. He's going to get weakened, though. Very poor decision to turn around and try and take that trade. Mango finding himself another kill.
Majestic is in trouble.
Majestic is getting obliterated right now. Wait for it, comes through. That's going to be another Druid. Oh, he stopped attacking. Dingo trying to get back to the turret is not going to be enough. And again, another 3 kills. An ace coming through for Invincible Armada. They are looking so good right now.
And because of this ace happening, I mean, we're going to be pushing in with the minions. Mango's cleared out the entire jungle. There's nothing for Potato here to go farm. He's just going to have to come to lane. And even then, I just don't think that's going to be enough for this turret. And, I mean, G2 Kinguin have no meat on this.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Dark Potato to stop this one. Trying to get the forward barrage down onto Druid. Because Majestic's there as well. He's going to force them back as Mango just starts off that gold mine. So many different ways for Invincible Armada to leverage their lead right now. They can pressure Majestic because he's so immobile. They can go for objectives like the gold mine. They can steal back camps. it's a very tough position to be in as G2.
Majestic, you just can't do this, man. You just can't
committed.
chase Druid. He's too mobile at this point, and those Resonance Bouncers are destroying you. We're going to hit level 6 on Wine here soon.
Oh, Mango coming in as well with the Polite Company from Finn. He thinks he can maybe stick close enough, but not going to have the distance. Majestic's done a good job, admittedly, in a few of these scenarios of just barely escaping. The problem is, it's not enough. These fights are still going with Invincible Armada's way.
And Saw's back at home, 64 to 66 for the CS, but look at this pressure. I mean, it's Mango's just going for it.
Yes, committing for the turret here. Quibble coming down with the smite should find it, and actually
Kinda threw it
burning from Hell's Heart, I think, just to dissuade G2 from fighting.
Yeah, if he had jumped behind one of them after that entire toss, I mean, that's like, what, a 4-second stun at that point. And, well, between him and Wine, I think that would have been just near enough. So we don't have any meat on the potatoes here. So Kinguin and Dark Potato, like, they're squishy, right? Dark Potato is really well known for those bruiser, tanky kind of guys. He can't do that. So he's 0-2 on these engages.
That said, Mango gets wiped out. Wine, oh, what was that? Forced Accord, followed by a great Quibble. That was a crazy play by Wine. We're going to have a pause real quick, guys, but I actually kind of want to take a pause to appreciate that play because it was crazy.
Well, Mango got split open, that's definitely for sure. But like you saw the return, right? There's just nothing to stand up to the damage. Not only are the resonance stacks just absolutely wrecking G2 right now, but Finn comes down. Every time he hits with those quibbles, they hit so hard, and they evaporate, just like you saw. A 3-man ace, they all died together doing what they loved, pushing turrets.
You know, I really like the Finn combo with this Crystal Vox, actually.
It's Finn to win today.
When you pull all of the enemies closer together with Polite Company, or you pull them all into one spot with the Forced Accord, you're guaranteed getting very quick bounces with your Resonance, obliterating them as a whole. So the AoE effects there really stack well.
Yeah, they do. But now, Kroll, all Kroll has to do in this situation, he doesn't really have a lot of AoE to add to that combination, but all he has to do is stay on top of Saw. If Saw has those continuous weakness stacks on top of him, it doesn't even really matter if he gets out of it. He's just not going to be reapplying any kind of damage. And even if he does, he has to go through Kroll, who's going to be building armor, has to go through Finn, who has really high natural hit points, and they're never going to get to Druid. Like, at this rate, they're never going to get to Druid.
I think they're really relying on Dark Potato to have good positioning in these fights. He needs to be positioned such that he can actually get that aggression down. But so far, he's going too deep without the option of a Surrey Strike out, for example. He doesn't have enough defensive capabilities to deal with the Finn. You know, he needs to be able to find the pick.
And if he does go that deep, I mean, there's just so many. There's a silence that can come out immediately from Wait For It. You can get hit for the Hell's Heart. You can quibble. There's just so many stop gaps to that combination. Like, Skye is great when she's unchecked. She has pure aggression. She gets ahead. But that is not the case. We're 0-3 and 0-3, I believe, on both Skye and Saw right now.
So what's the avenue back into the game for G2? Because one thing that I'm thinking back to was during the European Championships when Redix, who was originally on G2, was playing Skye, and they got to late game, and that was enough to carry them. I mean, he had like a 1 versus 3. Can they get to that point with Dark Potato here?
On Skye, I don't think so. Between Skye and Saw, there's very little CC. There's some slows. The death from above have just not been hitting. That is going to be a stun if we can land it. If you can get a stun, sure, you can get a kill. But Arden, all he's going to bring is that gauntlet. And I'm pretty sure these guys from Korea are not going to allow those gauntlets to hit. We're going to be jumping back into it here, though. But look for some reflex blocks coming up soon. Look at armor already there on top of Mango. We got the reflex on Druid on top of it. And Wine, I mean, he has that fountain, right? So there's the ace. They're going to get this gold mine. And as long as we build up armor for Majestic and shield for Potato, which already I think we have enough, the weakness stacks will just curb the rest.
All right, so gold mine the next target for Invincible Armada right now. They're sitting at 15.2 thousand gold to around 13,000 for G2. That is a pretty big advantage given how early in the game it is with Majestic trying to come in and contest this.
Got a roadie.
The push. He is in a very bad position. Jumps over the death from above. Druid trying to Sonic Zoom over the wall, but he can't quite get there. Majestic gets out alive just barely by the skin of his teeth. That was extremely close to Armada taking another good fight.
Yeah, but the gauntlet is down. Mango is looking.
Oh, that was another close call, to be honest. Wine might be able to keep this one going. Finds a Polite Company, but
you do have a hook.
Does he have the Force Chord? Is he going to go for this one? Looks like Invincible Armada just want to back out for the time being.
Yeah, well, look at Druid. He has 1,100 gold to go spend. He has now upgraded. He has some armor on top of it as well. So they are not fearing this Majestic at all. Majestic does actually have the only kill of the game. So it's not 0-3. He is 1-3. Has the Sora Blade, but that's it at the 9-minute mark. Definitely falling a bit behind. Is actually higher in CS right now, but Druid's about to change that.
Yeah, Druid should be able to get this next wave, which should put him pretty close to even. We do have a big power spike, though, for Dark Potato with the Broken Myth. So now, G2, you can see them being a bit more proactive. They're trying to actually move up the map take fights.
If they
rather than
cluster and
receive
fight in this bush,
Force
I think the
accord.
resonance is just going to destroy them.
Yeah, force to cord plus resonance in this bush could be really bad news for G2. So they've got to think carefully about their positioning. You don't just want to go for a fight purely because it's a position where maybe you can peel backwards. You have to think about everything. With
There's
this
no
situation.
turret here. There is no turret here.
Oh, Majestic especially doesn't know what's going on. The forced accord coming across. Dark Potato stuck in this fight for a very long time. He's going to use that jump out of there, but the resonance obliterating Majestic on the other side. Mango, he's just playing with his food right now, going in and out of the fight, messing with Dingo a little bit. Dark Potato should be able to escape. Mango jumping forward onto Majestic from Hell's Heart is going to lock that kill down. 10 kills to 1. Invincible Armada are steamrolling.
Yeah, 3,000 gold up, 3,500 even. Druid just doesn't miss CS. Like, I've been watching him. He just does not miss this last hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's slightly lower than what I was hoping for. I heard that he gets like 13 or 14 CS per minute, but I think this game, there's been actually quite a lot of fighting, and he does have 5 kills, so I'm going to give him some
Yeah, I was going to say 5
Yeah.
kills, 3 assists on top of that, so 96 in just under 11 minutes. Okay, he's forgiven, but the gold absolutely is just astounding. 4,800 between them now. And G2, again, like, if you don't have somebody tanky or bruiser, you got no front line. There is no front line here. It is just Arden, and if Arden blows out, there's no gauntlet. And that's one of the only CCs available here to Kinguin.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually not really seen Dingo going for that one. You were talking about front line. Invincible Armada just picked up an Atlas Pauldron on Mango as well as a Warhorn on Wine, so their front line is even better right now. They might be looking for something.
It's going to be very hard to say that Invincible Armada will actually drop another kill.
Yeah, I think it's super unlikely. They're really going to rely on Majestic and Dark Potato just instantly bursting down Druid, I guess. That's kind of their best option here, but given how strong the front line is, they're pretty much giving up one of their players for that every single time. And I think they need every single player to do
Majestic
well
spinning
here.
up. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, but here comes Invincible Armada. They don't mind fighting right
Oh,
now.
he got
Gauntlet gets
canceled.
canceled. Dark Potato is very low, trying to back away here. Mango does go down, but he is the only one so far.
Oh.
And Wine with the style points, picking up a kill with a forced accord.
All right, well, they were actually able to take down Mango during all that. Majestic got off just enough damage, but Dingo, as I said, if he's in that front line and gets obliterated, they don't have a gauntlet. If they don't have that gauntlet, they don't have that safety bubble that perhaps that's what their angle was. And getting it canceled like that, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. At the same time, I don't know if Dingo wanted to trap himself inside of a gauntlet with Invincible Armada right there.
You sacrifice yourself,
Yeah.
your 2 teammates live, it's a power play, you're the hero.
I guess that's what he was going for, but the problem is, what do you do after that point? You know, this is a
Well,
thing
you run
for
away.
G2
That's
right
what you
now.
do.
They're very far behind. You know, if you look at the gold, 19,000 to G2, 25,000 to Invincible Armada.
Yep.
Item-wise, we've got 2 big-ticket items for Druid and only the 1 for Dark Potato. That, I think, illustrates perfectly how far behind G2 are right now.
Yeah, call it a major item or so between them. But from a tier 0 to a tier 3, now Gold Mine is going to be added on top of this as well. And at the 13-minute mark, I mean, Invincible Armada, the fold is their oyster. I mean, they can just take this Gold Mine, they can item up, just look for some infusions sometime in the next 60 to 120 seconds, and then boom, Kraken time, you push down, you win.
Okay, so 2 big items just now for G2. We've got Crucible on Dingo, as well as a Bone Saw for Majestic.
Well,
The
it's either stop the hook or stop the silence.
Yes, I mean, I think the Crucible is really the key thing here. Also, Bone Saw for Majestic is going to help him get through Mango, because realistically right now he has to focus the front line. He doesn't have the luxury to actually go for the target he would like to.
Well, Druid now has an Eva on top of this.
Man. It's going to be really hard to kill Druid in these fights.
Absolutely. Yeah, Finn to win, man. Like, every patch that we've done over these last 3 championships, consecutive weekends, I mean, if you have a Finn, you Finn to win. And it's just an outstanding kind of win rate right now.
Yeah, and actually, one thing I'm super excited about in this game is Druid doing so much work with the Crystal Power Vox. We haven't seen it do that well so
Safe
far.
saying, yeah.
And I feel like Druid's just kind of worked out the best way of playing it. You know, he's doing a great job of harassing and lane using resonance, all that kind of stuff. Whereas a lot of people, I think, were still set in their ways of the previous patches.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on Druid. There it is, the Crystal Infusion at the 14-minute mark. We got a weapon there for Majestic. This is a do-or-die fight.
Mango, he's going to try and make a fight here. Majestic's pulled over the wall, but he's the only one.
Again!
Again, Dingo gets blocked trying to go for the gauntlet. This is insane reactions coming out of Druid, but the first person to die is Invincible Armada's.
No, Majestic.
Or Majestic. Oh, he gets absolutely obliterated there. Wine doing
Dingo's
a great
not
job
going
with the
anywhere.
quibble. Yeah, Dingo. There's
Sorry,
no camp
man.
for him to jump
Yep,
to. He
sorry,
thought
man.
maybe he could blood for blood over the wall, but Invincible Armada, they do a great job there. I am surprised that Mango died, though.
Well, Mango's being focused down, not only by Majestic, but Dark Potato. Like, whoever's going to be charging Majestic is going to get hit by the forward barrage, and we've got no real shield. Okay, well, a little bit now of shield on top of Mango. He has that reflex block, but now as well a light shield. But Potato's the only one to live through that, and sure, I mean, Invisible Armada will trade Mango for aces anytime that they can, but a 2-1, again, look at the map. It is just consistently being pushed and pushed and pushed up against G2.
All right, well, Dark Potato might be trying to go for Druid here. You can see doing a lot of poke. He's actually going to Surge Strike over the wall. This is very bold as Mango comes out from the flank, picking up the kill. That was actually a nice attempt. I mean, if Mango had not been there, if he went to lane, for example, that probably could have been a kill, but it was a little bit too bold, and now it's Kraken spawning 15 seconds ago, and only 2 members on G2. There's no way that I take this.
That's double Cauldron right there.
It makes sense against that Saw, right? You really need to be slowing him down. This is actually taking a while to kill, but I don't think that, I don't think G2 can do anything to stop this one. Of course, the Firebox is pretty bad at taking them.
I mean, like, it's not going to kill them, but eventually they will get the Kraken. And, well, more infusions to come out. We got a little bit of shield there for the Saw, but Kraken's unleashed, and at 7-ish, 6-ish thousand gold ahead, it's really hard to say that G2 can actually hold this.
Yeah, I think they're going to be hard-pressed, too. It's going to be really down to those crucial timings on the activated items for Dingo and Majestic. Getting that Aegis off, getting the Crucible off at the right time so Majestic can afford to deal damage. Gauntlet came up, but is it going to land this time?
Yeah.
We've only seen the one so far.
We've seen the one, and it didn't really help. Oh, Majestic!
Crucible. Okay, that was good, but he used his Aegis, too.
Yep.
They actually stacked both of the activatables there, so this means Majestic doesn't have an out to the next CC coming across from the IA. I feel like Mango could be able to find it from Hell's Heart here. They're just waiting for the Kraken, playing it as slow as they can.
If G2 can rebuff, I mean, they can burn down the Kraken. That's not going to be too hard with this comp.
Okay, so Dingo making sure he gets the Gauntlet there, using it very far away from IA, but he's actually not placed it far enough out that IA can't go for the turrets. This could be bad. Kraken's still very healthy as Mango and Wine start to walk up here.
Stun.
Druid doing a good amount of damage as well, trying to bounce these resonant stacks all over the place. Dingo's silenced up. I don't see G2 defending this. Mango, he's going to go down, but Druid is still up and hitting that Vein Crystal. G2 getting knocked out in the first game of the series. They're going to need to do something pretty special to come back in game 2, I think.
If you want to make a statement, you go 8-0-6. That is the statement right there from Druid. Not only him, but Wine as well. 4-0-9. Quite the racked up kills there for our support, but still, the only person to die was Mango. And Mango, he was the lead in the charge. He was building that armor. He was the target. And again, like, you trade that out, 1 kill for 2, 1 kill for 3. You get that ace, you get the gold mine, you get the turret. It's just advantage upon advantage. And, you know, this is why they won VIPL.
Yeah, I feel like Mango was just the sacrificial lamb in that game. He was the one that led the charge so that his teammates could be the most effective possible. Whereas on the flip side, Dingo was never in the position to do that. That was a very stark contrast.
I feel like he was in the front, but unfortunately he just was not able to live through it. And more often than not, the gauntlet just became unreliable.
Yeah, that gauntlet got blocked so many times. Incredible reaction.
And then the last one just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, if he'd used it a bit further down, he could have stopped them from basic attacking the turret.
Yep.
But I still don't think it would have bought enough time, and it would have been more optimal. Though.
So we got, so far today, 2 bans Adagio, 3 bans Celeste, and a Saw. Now, I'm not going to say that we're going to see a Saw ban as well, but if you let any of these crystal carriers, it feels like, go through to Druid, you're going to have a tough time. So, I mean, we had the Celeste and the Adagio blocked out by the bans, and then we had Sky taken for G2. That just left you with Vox. Now, this feels weird from G2 Kinguin because this is not a style that like we saw at all last week, for example, just in the EU Championships. So why are they trying something new here? Is it simply just to try to counterblock Druid?
You've got to remember as well that they're using a new player. Majestic was not on their lineup at the European Champions. They were playing with Redix back then. Maybe Majestic brought something new to the table that they wanted to run with. The Saw is not something we're used to Redix playing that much, but Majestic is well known for it.
Right.
I am kind of surprised by the frequency of Saw so far, though. I mean, even TSM picked it earlier on, so it does seem kind of popular.
2 out of 3 and a ban. So that's it for us, right? And now we're going to try to set up that next game. We're going to give it off to our good friends, Humanist and Zekant, though, to see what their thoughts were on this international matchup.
All right, thank you very much. Forecourt and action, Jackson. Invincible Armada taking game 1 in this best-of-3 series in a pretty convincing fashion, Zekant.
Yeah, once again, Invincible Armada is showing exactly why they're considered such a strong team. Druid just had so much farm. Even though Mango was a little bit behind of Dark Potato, it didn't matter because Invincible Armada knows what game they want to play. They want to make sure Druid gets the farm that he needs and make sure he becomes the hyper carry for his team.
Definitely. And you know, when you talk about hyper carries, you talk about getting that farm. what's impressive to me is it's not like that was a passive game. There was a lot of action up in that lane. He still found the farm.
Yeah, even though both of the teams were fighting constantly, Druid was still able to make sure he got the CS up. He had about 10 per minute at the end of the game, and that is with all the kills, all the action, and all of everything happening.
Yeah. And as far as Vainglory, competitive Vainglory goes, a couple things stand out to me there. We have the Crystal Vox, which we haven't seen a lot of. It did so much work in that game. Also, gauntlets getting canceled off. 2 gauntlets getting canceled off. I know at least one was by a quibble. Did you see what the second one was?
I believe both of them were by the quill, but that is so incredibly impressive because, honestly, Finn stunning someone out of a gauntlet is not something I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you see that, and then you see it 2 times in a row. I mean, IA is just on point. Hopefully we have a replay of that. We'll go ahead and bring that up, and we'll get to see that action again. I mean, that was just fantastic. We got our little monitor here. We'll see when that stuff comes up. But so anything else that stood out to you in here? Here you see the wait for it come through, cleaning up this fight. I mean, the thing is with the Crystal Vox, it's more of an AoE type base damage source, right? So you want to fight in clumps, and they just had it in spades.
Yeah, you can see right here, Invincible Armada pulling in everyone with the Force Chord, and Druid just went to town, killed every single member of G2. And right here, you can see, like, Invincible Armada, they always play together. They know exactly what the strengths of their team composition are, and they know who to send to pick up which kills, and know who to leave behind to protect Druid.
Yeah, they definitely do. Here, another fight, the wait for it on point, and they just descend like locusts and destroy G2 here. Do you think that so much of the success with this Crystal Vox and fighting in this AoE comes down to having Finn as a team partner? Or, did G2 just put themselves in vulnerable situations?
I do think there are a couple other options with that Vox, but having the Finn is definitely a huge benefit because of that Force Accord. However, there are other options. Arden is fantastic, locking everyone in the gauntlet, and as long as you are able to fight in those jungle corridors, the wait for it does so much damage.
Yeah, so you think maybe they would have been a little better suited to try and keep the fight spread out. And at that point, though, you always have to peel Kroll. I mean, Kroll, he's devastating. If he just locked onto Sky, and he did a really good job. We said in the beginning, if Sky's able to kite backwards, he's going to win that fight. Otherwise, it's going to be Kroll.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult for G2 to play against a composition such as the one Invincible Armada did have. Having Kroll in the front line, being a constant threat, and the moment you try to collapse onto Kroll, well, you don't really want to do that because Druid on that Vox, the AoE damage is absolutely immense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the most successful, Crystal Vox that I've seen in the last few weeks, maybe even month or so, because everybody's been going weapon. The trend has been double weapon. You get into Sorrow Blade, Bonesaw, look for some crit or whatever your item of choice is at that point. But it's pretty exciting to see it played at this level and with that success.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone is Druid. Druid is one of those players who can basically take any hero in the game and play it to absolute perfection.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm excited to see. I wonder if they ban it away. Do you think it's still safe to just go ahead and ban a Celeste away from it?
Honestly, I think the Celeste is still a pretty solid ban because Celeste with that Broken Myth can be incredibly powerful. The amount of damage she puts out is just huge. But it's really up to what G2 wants to do. Do they want to try countering the Vox? Do they want to try countering the Sky even? There are so many options for them, and I'm really interested in seeing what they do decide to draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, what made it so effective in that lane, especially against Saw, and Majestic Saw. We know he's one of the best Saw players in the world. And typically, your Saw gets spun up. If it's a weapon Saw, he's just going to trade blows with you, and you can't do anything. But that Vox, he just stayed backwards. He let Saw sit around the minion wave coming down the lane, and the AoE was it was too much.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about the Saw versus Vox matchup is that Vox technically outranges Saw with the resonance bounces. However, if Saw is able to just wail on Vox, there's no way Vox is going to win that. But the lane matchup was actually very interesting because Invincible Armada actually put a lot of pressure onto Majestic, so it forced him to actually put himself in a very odd position while laning.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Zekan, if you could coach up G2 a little bit going into the second match, you're going to say, okay, this is a best of 3. You're going to have to win this game, push it into game 3. If you want to take the series, what do you tell them?
Ooh, that's really tricky because the main thing that hurts Invincible Armada is when Druid gets shut down. We have seen in the past, the games that they do lose are because Druid got killed a ton of times early in the game, and he got focused very early on. So I'm very interested in seeing, will G2 pick something up such as like a Glaive, where you can constantly throw those ganks into lane?
Right. I mean, that would make a lot of sense to me. It kind of reminds me of a similar story to K Volifar, right? And when we were breaking down Team Secret, and they say, well, I mean, if K Volifar has a good lane, they're probably going to go ahead and win. makes a lot of sense in the same kind of situation here. Shut down Druid, you might be able to shut down IA.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch out for because if G2 is able to pick a composition that is very, very aggressive early on, and because Druid likes to play those hyper-scaling carries, it can throw Invincible Armada for a loop. If they are not ready and able to survive the early game against G2, G2 can definitely take it home.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised we didn't see Glaive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was Glaive banned? And it definitely wasn't picked earlier today.
No, but the interesting thing is G2 decided to go for that Saw, which does work out pretty well with the Glaive as we saw from Team Secret in the European Championships. But I'm not sure it's something that they have practiced themselves.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty high level, like coordination to make that work. It's not one of those easy just wombo combos where you're that 1-2 punch and someone's dead.
Right, and one thing I want to watch out for is what will Invincible Armada try? Because if they win this, they're going to be up against TSM tomorrow, and I wonder, do they want to show all their cards?
No, you never want to show all your cards. You know this. Zekent, a competitive player as well. You always hold something to the end if you can do that. Especially like in a game one where it wasn't that big of a fight for them. Like they came out, they were taking objectives, they were getting what they needed done. So I would expect that they're going to go ahead, at least come into game two and just kind of stick with the same game plan and see how it goes.
Yeah, well, there are two sides to the coin, right? Maybe you have so many strategies that it doesn't matter what you
Dang.
show. Maybe they have so many pocket picks ready.
Strats. All right, guys. Well, I'm hearing we're ready for draft, so we'll go ahead and hop into this right now and get this action started. So we have Invincible Armada leading off with the first ban, and of course they will have the first pick as well. Let's see what they do.
All right. Got 13 seconds on the clock. What do you expect them to ban here?
Well, the thing is, I was going to say it's Saw is what's in my mind, right? Because Majestic's so strong. It looks like they're actually going to respect it and ban it out here.
All right, looks like G2 is still deciding what they want to ban themselves, but honestly, they have a few options here. Celeste is good, Sky, Vox, there's so many options to ban against Invincible Armada. I wonder if it might just be better to let you play what you want and focus on someone else.
Oh my goodness, what a dangerous situation you get yourself into when you have to shut down Druid, and the only strategy is just let Druid do what he wants. All right, Celeste is the ban. They're going to stick to their guns, and now IA ready to set the tone.
Surprisingly, I don't expect them to pick a Dodge because I really do expect them to pick something that is good for Druid. They might go for the buff comp right here, but it does seem like they do, which is interesting because that does put its Armada more into the role of playing a box instead of the Sky, and this does give G2 an opportunity to pick that box.
And do you think, if that's how it works out, this would be the jungle Adagio?
My guess is it would be, but depending on what G2 ends up picking, I would not be surprised if Druid decides to play.
All right, well, G2, they're going to pick up that Sky. They're going to grab the Finn as well. I mean, we saw G2 in this last week just have incredible success with Sky. So, I'm not surprised that they're going back to it.
Yeah, so it does look like Invincible Armada is considering that land, saying they do pick it up. So, very, very solid pick up for them. I mean, actually expecting that to, well, it could actually be in lane 4 as a roamer, but I do think Druid will play that Adagio.
All right, well, we have that cool of the plants. This is a pretty dirty little competition right here. Last pick for G2. What are they going to do to round this out? Oh, it's going to be the Rona.
The Rona. All right, an interesting pick right there. All right. All right, the Rona, actually a very effective pick right here because we do have Invincible Armada. They have the Sky, they have the Adagio, or they don't have the Sky. They have the Adagio, which is very solid, but I'm wondering if G2 is actually aiming to do a huge amount of burst damage. The Rona does a huge amount of damage with that Foes player, so I'm expecting them to jump on Druid and try taking him down immediately in a fight.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, you talk about it, they're going to just control this whole area, right? So with Rona, I mean, she has to kind of predict where you're going to be moving. She starts getting that slow move speed with the red mist coming out. Into the fray is a good tool to reposition. Surrey strikes will be coming through as well. But these guys, they're going to have to communicate here.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very important to make sure they land all of their skill shots. The Force Core is going to be so pivotal coming out of Dingo. If he does land a good one onto the key members of Invincible Armada, maybe not pulling that Krillin because you don't really want him close to your carries, but if they get Druid, if they get the Adagio into the middle of their team, having a Rona and having a Sky, he's not going to live very long.
Yeah, at the same time, though, I'm saying we've seen those forced accords into just the giant verse. And so if you're going to hook him in, you have to blow him up.
Yeah, that is a very tricky thing because if they do pull him in at an inopportune time, the Adagio is gonna hurt.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, our players, we've gone through the draft here. It looks like there was a little loading in, so we're going to go ahead and just redraft, and we're going to hop into this game very shortly. Kind of like final thoughts focus on these compositions and
Swap
prediction.
heroes.
Honestly, I do expect Invincible Armada to be a little bit stronger just because they are more practiced as a team. However, G2, because they do have a sub, I mean, Majestic coming in from formulated sub of Team Secret, but it's going to be very interesting to see if G2 will be able to step up their game this time around.
All right, well, let's see if they can do it, guys. I'm pretty sure that we're loaded into the game, or at least loading in right now. So we have our casters ready to go.
Yeah, confirmed.
All right, there we go. I couldn't tell if you were going or not already. Four-court Jester, Action Jackson, take it away.
Always a pleasure, Humanist. Always a pleasure. So, game 2, another Celeste pick, another Celeste ban. That's 4 for 4. No Celeste today, Mr. Jackson.
I think that makes a lot of sense because no one wants to ban Lance right now for whatever reason, and you know there are
this is
other
the
good
first
bans.
pick, Lance. Let's not hate on him too much.
So the thing is, though, if you
Unfold has
don't ban
begun.
Celeste, especially on blue side,
Right.
and you don't pick it, then they can pick Celeste Lance, which is disgustingly good.
Absolutely.
So it makes a lot of sense to get rid of one of the ingredients. In any case, we're on to the fold for the second match of the series. G2 down 1 game against Invincible Armada. Got an interesting composition this time. Maybe they can turn things around. Dark Potato is in lane.
Yeah, what's up
I've
with
never
that
seen
one?
that before.
All right, but still, this is a very much more of a G2 kind of comp. And Druid, well, he's going to have a little bit more of a field day, at least until Dark Potato gets that level 2 going. So he's just going to try his best in order to, you know, dissuade and harass.
Oh,
and
that Quibble does so much damage as Dingo comes in here and
That's
Pale
rude.
only going to be landing onto the one of them because you can't stun up Dingo. Majestic trying to jump forward here. Wine is very low. 1 or 2 more attacks. But he misses the forward barrage, and now he is very weakened by Mango. The smite, it's going to be enough. Mango picks up the first kill for Invincible Armada in game 2. Dingo, he has got no easy way out here either. He's very immobile. Maybe he can pick up a kill on the
Druid.
Wine. It's unlikely though as Druid comes down, slows up Dingo. It's going to be another kill going the way of Mango. 2 quick ones for Armada.
So just like what Zekin said, they're going to try to fight in the forest, but Dark Potato in the lane is just a little more different than I thought. Mango's looking for this invade.
Majestic, he should not have Story Strike that way. He is very weak. Again, a smite comes down. Mango
Dingo.
has no mercy. Here comes Dingo. Why are we talking about Dingo cannot do anything.
No, you're absolutely right. Not that he's still actually trying to harass.
I
He gets
admire
one. He got one.
his effort.
He got one.
He got one.
That's worth.
Mango might as
now
well his turn.
will Wine die? No, because Rona, she's still up in that lane. Can't do anything up against Druid, apparently. Druid now even here to join in the whole stealing of the farm. Wine's even still getting these forward camps ready to go. And this is going to be a very tough spot for Majestic now. 2 deaths in 2 minutes. 5 creeps to his name. And now still more invades to deal with.
Yeah, Mango is really keeping the pressure on right now. This time a good Story
Oh
Strike, but
my
Mango sustaining
goodness.
back up. The smite is doing so much damage. Majestic is burning from the Gift of Fire. It's not enough damage though.
Dingo's not going
sacrificial
anywhere.
lamb. This time for
Oh,
G2
Majestic.
going down. Man, I mean, the pressure here from Armada, this is what we would expect from like a European team playing Kroll.
Yep, and look at Mango. Mango has actually done well enough, 4 kills in 2 minutes, that he's actually gone double shooter into that light shield. So not only will he continue to invade, he's going to be just that much better at taking down Sky. Now, the only way to salvage this for Majestic is to put him in lane.
I agree. I think they should just make that swap because Dark Potato is also fairly able to get out of sticky situations, given that he's got that jump. So, Majestic, you want to get some farm onto him. Like, if you put all of your farm in Ronin in this situation, she just gets weakened by Kroll. So that does not work for you.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing. When it's going through the draft, it's like, all right, Mango, fine.
Majestic again, Mango trying to stick on top of him, full stack.
Kaboom.
What is that damage? Majestic, he's extremely lucky that he has not died the last 2 times.
Majestic has no shield, so this is just going to continue again and again and again. Mango's looking for blood.
Dingo is much weaker than Majestic right now as well. He's only level 2.
Oh,
Dingo
the root.
coming across as well. Mango, full stacks on Dingo. Can he find the smite? Not quite enough. This has got to be crushing the spirit of Mango right now. He's so close yet so far. Again
Oh, yeah.
and again.
Druid's in the game. I forgot. He just comes on over, and he's just, all right, that's enough of that. Majestic will
Round
get one.
4, Majestic versus Mango. Mango conceding
Hey,
right
Majestic
away.
got one.
Yeah.
That's a huge boon.
Yeah, he did get one, but now he's in the very wrong part of the
Mining
map.
has
Why
begun.
not landing that impale could be good for him though.
This lane is just not going to work against Druid at all.
He's easily able to just 1 versus 2 right now. I mean, Dingo, he's only level 2 at 4 minutes. He does not have much health. Druid doing a lot of damage. Majestic still being chased. We got the Benny Hill theme song playing in the background as stun comes across
Oh,
from
we only got
Wine.
one.
Mango's just biding his time. Yeah,
Mango's
he's
going to
waiting.
make that sandwich happen.
Waiting in the wings. Now Majestic.
Yep.
This time, he is surely going to go down.
Yeah, he's got nothing. That is going to make it 6-0 here for the team from Korea. And even in lane, Druid dancing around the turret is able to pick up Rona on top of it. Where was Finn? Well, Finn was already back at home. So call it 6-0. Call it another invade as Druid, now level 6, is going to be just taking control of both jungles. This is just almost an unwinnable state already.
I have to agree. I feel like Armada have completely dominated the early game here. Dingo only just turned level 3. He's so far behind that he cannot be a frontline for his team, basically.
Doesn't get it. I mean,
Druid.
Look at the difference here between the two. 6 and 4. Just in that. Like, if Sky tried... Oh, come on, Druid. Did he actually steal that? I have no idea.
I didn't quite catch it on my screen, but certainly it's possible. Majestic has done a good job of taking...
Oh, Mango sees it!
Mango sees another opportunity to go into Majestic, though. Look at the damage coming across here. I like that Mango's got the discipline just to buy the
You got nowhere to go.
So, yeah, man,
You got nowhere to go.
He is a goner.
Oh,
this is
disgusting.
insane pressure out of Mango.
Oh, right, Druid's in the game. I just keep forgetting. Like, he's 2v1ing like a boss, like, and he's not even taking damage. It's all right now about this aggression from Mango. He's 6-0, man. 6-0.
He alone has more than a kill a minute.
Yeah.
By himself.
By himself.
I mean, well, technically there's assists.
Now, notice what they're doing in the lane there. Notice what Mango's doing. He has level 6 now. He has from Hell's Heart.
Cruel.
He
This
just
is
found
so
Majestic.
cruel. I don't see Majestic.
Surge Strike. Yeah, that's it. He doesn't even need Hell's Heart. Boom.
Wow.
Dunked. Kobe.
I feel really bad for Majestic. He's just getting annihilated.
That's a
Dingo in a
dead
bad
Dingo.
position
Dead
as
Dingo.
well. Druid doing a lot of damage up here in the lane, too. They should be able to take the turret pretty soon.
So what these guys were doing in lane is they were freezing it where Potato couldn't farm, and now that they got the kill, they're cleaning up. They're going to be pushing forward, probably rotating down. There's a ton of cash on top of Druid right now. Potato, 35 compared to the 68 farm of Druid.
That's insane. I mean, Druid, we've talked about his farm before, and we've talked about the fact that he's expected to get maybe just more than 10 per minute. So the fact that he's doing that here isn't so surprising. He's not actually been a part of a lot of the action. I feel like Mango's been
that's why I keep
creating
saying,
space
oh yeah,
for him.
he's in the game. I keep forgetting. It's just insane aggro from Mango. And do you know, remember how all this started? They tried to kill Lance.
Yeah.
G2 was like within a hair's breadth of taking out Lance for the first blood, and from there it was just invade, pressure.
If you're going to shoot the king, you better not miss, right? I mean, that was really a situation where if they were going to go for that aggressive play, they had to make it work, or it was going to backfire as it did. And the situation that they're in now, you mentioned it a few minutes ago practically, it's almost unwinnable. They are so far behind.
Well, I mean, after this pause, we'll have to see what G2 is going to recollect and come back with, but it's hard to say that it isn't just kind of that wrapped up package right now. We have multiple level 6s versus, I mean, Majestic's what, 0 and 5? Right now in 7 minutes. He can't get any farm. He's gotten maybe 2 jungle creeps in the last 3-4 minutes. And every time he's out of spawn, Mango's just sitting there waiting for him. It's like cat and mouse almost.
Good luck hitting your late game Sky power spike when you're dealing with that. Because I think Krull as well is very good in the late game. We've seen it do amazingly well in the early game this game. But a lot of players in North America, for example, they've always been under the impression that it's a late game pick. It's going to hit that point very early.
Because that's just how North America plays it. Unfortunately, North America does not have statistics to support their theories. It's a highly negative kind of outcome. But Europe has had arguably the most success out of this. But now I think Korea is setting a new precedent. Like, who needs late game, Kroll? Just go all aggro early game.
And they were going aggro. Well, in fact, they were actually defensive for the first fight with the Lance. They weren't even going that aggressive until they got the edge.
But that was their undoing, perhaps. We'll have to see. The game's not over, but if you can't get a first item by 9 minutes, it's a pretty dire state.
Yeah, you want to be getting your first item like 6 or 7 at the worst case scenario. So the fact that they're so far behind is a very bad situation. We are trying to get this pause resolved, ladies and gentlemen. Shouldn't be taking too much longer. I did just hear something suggesting we'll be back in a moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing Majestic if he can get back into this game.
Well, it's going to be a tall order. My bigger question is, like, G2, they come all the way out here. They just came out of the European Championships. We've never seen Dark Potato in lane. We've never seen a double aggro like Sky Sawcon. Why are they experimenting right now?
Maybe this is where they feel like they have the best ability to. I personally like trying things against harder opponents. Just
Mango's right there on top of Majestic.
The best situation to learn. Majestic, he's doing a lot of damage still. I mean, just with a lot of crystal bits.
Yes, 3 crystal bits. Yeah, that's it. 3 crystal bit at 645. When you're typically looking for a Broken Myth or Frostburn or something of that caliber, it's just not happening. Level 8 for Druid, level 7 there for Mango. We're about to get that battle roll for the Lance Advance.
Yeah, he's going to be able to reposition forward quite easily with that and keep the pressure on. The good thing for Dingo, at least, is that normally Lance is great at dealing with the front line because you can stun and impale people constantly.
Right.
Dingo as Finn cannot be crowd controlled, which obviously is a huge boon against the Lance. And in addition to that, you can also do fancy stuff like Polite Company Lance out of his impale animation. So Dingo has options here to still be effective. The problem is that I think maybe he's just too weak in terms of tankiness. Dark Potato, not taking too much damage from Mango here, but Wine coming across wants to help out. Impale landing onto 2. Wine's alone, though. His team has kind of deserted him here.
This could be a good
kill. Armada, they gotta be careful. All right, Wine just comes back into the lane.
Majestic is actually opting not to defend. He's actually trying to opt to farm at this point. That's leaving us in a 2v3 with the turret down. And yeah, Dingo's going to pay the price.
Yeah, there's no way out for him there. Mango and Druid both in a position.
Majestic's actually trying to get the minion line.
I don't know if that's a great plan. I feel like your turret is super important right now.
Potato
Druid actually walking forward, going for the reverse. Dark Potato able to get out of that one. Well, Druid still doing a lot of damage here, and with the fountain pop from Wine as well, they can just keep going for this. They do. This is insanely fast.
Majestic is proxy farming. That's something Zekin has been trying to make happen for weeks and months.
I do actually think that's a good decision here, but I'm not sure it's enough. Like, I feel like Mango
Dingo's
might
dead.
just be able to tank up here. Dingo going to be going down. Wine jumping forward. Does stun himself up with missing the Impale. The joke coming across, but...
So the proxy farm will alleviate the pressure here because there's no way the Invincible Armada, as invincible as they are, can actually tank out these turrets. Potato saying, you can't go back. Come on, play with the bunny.
Dark Potato going Yam.
Oh god, I give up. I'm done. Humanist comes up in for me. But so Invincible Armada will have to actually stop the aggression because that proxy farm. The proxy farm actually did very well for Majestic. It got him, well, not back into the game, but it was definitely a good cash
It stopped
infusion.
them from losing.
It stopped them from losing, yes.
So it was great.
They prolonged this game, for better or for worse. But 9 minutes in, 11 kills. You were talking about the Farmer Druid, right? I'm looking over my left. He's just playing over there on his phone with a stylus, and he has 108 minions in 9 minutes. That is the Druid you've been looking for.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous amount of farm for this point in the game, especially considering that he's also found the time to be part of 6 kills.
Of those 11.
You know, so he's been proactive, at least to a certain extent as well, and he's been in situations where, you know, you might find your teammates having to take a few minions when you run
Trouble. All right.
He's good. He's going to jump out of there for now. Mango wants
Oh, they found
going.
Majestic.
Majestic was going for the flank here, but Wine spots him out. Mango's in the 1 versus 2. I don't know if
I don't know
Potato
who's
has
actually winning
damage.
that one.
Yeah, I don't think Dark Potato has the damage to really
Oh!
fight. What is that damage, though, from Druid? The basic attack is chasing him all the way down as he leaps out of the fray there.
You see
Dingo.
that reflex come up after the stun?
Yeah, this could be bad for Dingo as well. He's
Majestic's off farming.
trying to save these turrets here. Majestic going for the proxy farm yet
This
again.
This isn't game, but it's definitely a turret.
It might be game. I think with Wine still full health and the ability to get the in-wall to reduce damage, he could just tank it up here. Gotta be
Majestic's
bold.
proxy farming.
Look at Dingo as well, getting obliterated. Dark Potato has respawned. Might be looking for Mango here.
He can't jump that.
Druid.
No,
Yeah,
he
that's
can't
gonna.
jump that.
That's gonna.
They
keep
need
him
Majestic,
alive.
and he's just off proxy farm. Now this is actually going to be game.
This is gonna be game. Invincible Armada. I don't know any way they don't take the win here in a 2-0 victory against G2, losing no members in game 2. Although Druid testing that statement there, nearly walking on the fountain.
Invincible Armada living up to the name.
That was a very impressive performance. You can see why these guys won the IPL. They are looking so strong moving forward.
I didn't even get to talk about Wine just forsaking everything after a fountain and trying to go into a chronograph. Like, that's how far ahead they were. I mean,
Yeah.
10,000 gold in 10 minutes, 131 last hits for Druid. That's 13 a minute. That's what you were looking for.
That's exactly what I was looking for. 13
So it's just like Invincible Armada, well named. I gotta say, Saw getting 2 bans today, 4 for Celeste. Nobody is just allowing anybody to play here in this patch. And a few there for Adagio. If Adagio wasn't banned, he was picked. And Saw is 1-1 for games.
I definitely feel like G2, to a certain extent, they need to go back to the drawing board after that series.
Well,
They didn't.
there's no more drawing board. They're out.
Yeah, I know, but just as a team, they need to figure out what
Okay.
they're going to do moving forwards, because the addition of Majestic to the roster as a sub, I don't think necessarily worked out as well as they might have liked. They tried putting Dark Potato in the lane. That didn't go so well, so they got to
Yeah.
be careful about being
It's a
too
very-
experimental.
It's a very different team than what we're used to, and we just came from the European Championships where they did place into top 4. Some very tough games over the weekend
Yeah.
as well, but Korea just looked like in another league. This is the reason why Invincible Armada, they've gone over 3 seasons of the VIPL in Korea. They've gone from 3rd to 2nd to 1st, which is the latest one a few weeks ago.
And right now, they're looking to take that even further past the VIPL to the Samsung Invitational. They're certainly looking like possibly the favorites. I mean, them and TSM both had pretty convincing wins.
2-0s.
It's hard to pick one of the two teams, but
Stat-wise, I believe the TSM has been outperformed, but they were both 2-0s. These were games pre-Kraken. Well, the second game was pre-Kraken.
Yeah. That was an extremely fast victory for sure.
It absolutely was. All right, so I want to get Humanist's opinion. Humanist, what was your opinion on this, man?
I don't have any opinions. That's why I have Zeke in here. I just asked the questions. And
Wow.
No, I mean, of course I got an opinion. My opinion, Invincible Armada. Are you kidding me? These guys, I mean, on fire. What can they do any wrong?
Honestly, Invincible Armada just look so incredibly strong, as always. I mean, season after season, game after game, every time I watch them play, they are always on point, and even if they lose, they are still putting up such a good fight.
I mean, from minute 1 until the last minute of that game, they were aggressive. They weren't dying at all. And like early on, Kroll got in there. He got very aggressive onto Majestic, and I was like, is this the play right here? They end up getting the kill, walk out on a sliver of health, and then they never look back.
Yeah, one of the great things watching him play, that Kroll, especially on Mango, he was constantly in the middle of the enemy team, and it was just amazing to watch.
All right, well, we have a replay available, so we'll go ahead and bring that up, and maybe we'll see some of these highlights we're talking about here. So you see some of the early engagement. This is the kill going out right there. Mango just going absolutely ham throughout this match. And this guy, a ripe fruit, he's going to go ahead and take down Finn right there. Majestic, I mean, he was having such a hard time getting through this jungle. He was both under-farmed and under-leveled. You see, just pinned in by Lance, pinned in by Cruel, and just tough stuff. Anything standing out to you here, Zegan?
I mean, look at these replays. I mean, it's just over and over. Mango jumping on Majestic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Like, holy cow.
I mean, honestly, IA just dismantled this team.
Yeah, IA just looking so incredibly strong. Very much looking forward to how they perform against TSM tomorrow. But G2, they still have an opportunity to get that third place spot up against Hunters, and they really do have to rethink what are they going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go back and talk that over tonight. These guys, they came a long way to be here at the Samsung Galaxy Vainglory Invitational, and I'm sure they want to do as best as they can tomorrow. So MVP of that game?
Ooh, it's gotta be Mango. I mean, looking at his second game in particular, that Cruel 7-0-4. He was always in G2's side of the map.
He definitely was. 32 CS. You're like, oh, well, that's not too amazing. It doesn't matter. He was farming opponents. You know, like
why farm minions when you can farm heroes?
Exactly. You know, he basically just took away the backs and then farm, rotate up to lane, push turrets. It was no big deal for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely incredible to watch. I mean, the team synergy coming out from Invincible Armada is just so on point. Wine just always blocking things, always making sure he roots his opponents, always gets the CC down. Druid farming. I mean, honestly, in that second game, we didn't really see Druid too much until he came in and killed everyone.
Just clean up on aisle 3, and Druid shows up right there. And they said, so he's playing with a stylus. Have you ever tried that yourself, and do you think it helps out?
I've tried it. It just doesn't work for me.
Through gritted teeth, Zekent has tried it. All right, well, maybe I'll have to try it someday, see if it can work out. But yeah, I mean, any closing comments, any final thoughts as we look back on this match here? Of course, you know, G2, one of the best teams in Europe, one of the best teams in the world, and IA just came out and lit them up.
I mean, Invincible Armada has a team that has done so well in the past. They constantly do fantastic work, and it's really interesting to see like how G2 did perform. They did kind of get steamrolled this time around, but I mean, up against a team that they had some knowledge of, but not so much footage of. It's very interesting to see how they did.
All right. Well, I actually over here I got a secret little list I was handed.
Ooh.
All right. Do you want to learn some things?
Tell me about.
All right.
things.
So check this out. Check this out. We have some fun stuff coming up. We're gonna have some community members playing in battle royale matches. If you guys don't know what battle royale is, it's a little bit of more fast-paced, action-packed mode that SEMC has put together for Vainglory. Everybody forced into the lane, so no jungle at all. You start level 4, you got a bit of gold, and it's just everyone clashing right there from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, it's super fun to play. It takes like, you know, about 6 to 8 minutes, and it's just a faster mode of Vainglory. If you really have just a little bit of time, it's fantastic. You just hop in and, you know, get a game in.
It definitely is. And all right, so looks like for Team Blue, we're going to have Yuma Rankin, Wolfhands himself, Sweet Generous. All right, so that's pretty OP team
Pretty
right
solid.
there. Pretty solid team right there. Team Red, Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, maybe not the Ellen DeGeneres. in-game name is Ellen DeGeneres. And then we're going to have Drizzy and Dart. So that's going to be a pretty fun team as well. Do you have any thoughts there?
Honestly, all these players are absolutely fantastic. I mean, Sweet Generous, on one of the Hammers teams, just absolutely dominant in the championships for North America. But on the other side, all these players are very, very highly ranked. They're all incredible players, and I'm very much looking forward to see how they match up in Valorant. I mean, sometimes it does come down to you might just get a fair composition.
Oh, that's odd, and I didn't even mention that. You don't get to pick your heroes, right? So you're going to random your heroes. You're going to have to play whatever you get. Really, there's certain heroes that seem to do incredibly well in Battle Royale. Finn, Adagio, a couple that come to mind here. Saw, of course. We'll see. I feel like having Suijay on your team is kind of an advantage here.
It's probably pretty good for them. I mean, Wolf and Juma, both very solid players themselves, but Suijay is just absolutely a beast.
Yeah, they definitely are indeed. So these guys, I can see over here. I'm trying to peek over their shoulder. They're up here at the desk, and I think they're getting into the lobby right now. We'll be launching this shortly. This is a best of 3 that we're going to do.
Ooh, best of 3 Battle Royale.
Not just one and done. This is going to be like some competitive Battle Royale, and I wonder if they like placed any bets. I should have asked them before, you know, like you're buying dinner. You're buying dinner for so if you had to pick a team, who's it going to be?
I gotta go with Suijay and his crew. I mean, Yuma and Wolfhands, both very solid, but Suijay, I think he's the leader they need.
Dang. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go with Drizzy on this one then, you know?
All right.
Got to give Drizzy some love. You know, he doesn't want to get left hanging over there. And also, I mean, phenomenal player. He's actually Vainglory's player himself, puts in a lot of work. So it's really all about, do you get a hero that you're comfortable on? Are you learning, like, live?
I mean, honestly, that's one of the great things about Battle Royale, right? Because in a normal game, sometimes you're not willing to try out that new hero that you kind of haven't been needing to try it for a while. But in Battle Royale, because you just kind of get thrown into a hero, you have to play anything you are given, and it really teaches you what are the intricacies of each hero.
Definitely. Is there any hero for you that, like, if you get into Battle Royale and you land it, you're just like, God,
nah,
GG.
I'm awesome. I got this.
Yeah, well, we already know that. I thought that maybe we would find a little weakness from you, Zekin, but you won't expose those weaknesses for us. I can appreciate that. I think, like, for me, like, I need to work on my Celeste a bit. My Kestrel's not that good either. Like, if I land a couple of those, like, coming into Battle Royale, I've been working on my Kestrel.
Oh, yeah.
But she is actually, you know, she's one of those heroes that I feel pretty high skill cap, but if you can really, like, you know, practice that kit, get it together, just devastating.
Oh, yeah. Kestrel, if you are on point with those limit shots, you can absolutely devastate your opponents. I mean, we saw Von C in the championships just...
Yeah, Von C just went absolutely ham during the championships. It was phenomenal play. So yeah, you have long range abilities there. You can be sneaky with your active camos. And well, guys, it looks like we're ready to go right now. We got some casters on stage who are ready as well. Action Jackson and Forecourt Jester. Take it away, guys.
Always a pleasure there, Humanist. Always a pleasure. Now, I got to say, AJ, Battle Royales, they're really fun, they're really fast, they're really hectic. Let's rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to win. 1, 2, 3. All right, so your team is going to win.
Right on. Well, that's this one, obviously.
You're going to be going. You're going to go with Yuma, Wolfhands, and Sweet Generous.
Dude, Suijay is a beast. I mean,
All
they
right.
were not kidding when they said that on the desk.
Well, you know what? Drizzy's my boy. I watch his stream. He's a great player. He's Vainglory. I think he's
Drizzy's
got
awesome, but he always messes up my hair when he does it. So.
Wow. I'm so glad he can't hear you right now. Those soundproof.
Don't tell him to watch
the
the
soundproof
VOD.
headphones are definitely working out for you right now. Come next NA championship.
I just
is
end up bald. Yeah. I can see that happening. All right, so let's take a look at the compositions coming across here. Alpha, Jewel, and Catherine for Team Drizzy.
That's Sky.
And for Sweet Generous, we got Arden, Catherine, and Adagio.
Right, there's only one Catherine.
Oh, sorry, that is Sky. Yep.
But Arden,
Just
Catherine,
get
Adagio. That is the dream comp right there because Catherine's going to go all tank. It's going to be Weapon Arden with Adagio buffing the heck out of him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which one of these compositions comes out across. I feel like Drizzy's team does have the potential for some fairly disgusting poke, for example.
It's a tank Catherine. Crystal in for Yuma. She's just going to be buffing Suijay, and Suijay is going to be just. I really want to say something else. He's just going to be pounded in the face.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things. Arden can be very effective with weapon power. Blood for blood, obviously, a great skill to go with them.
All right, so Dart, actually, very curiously enough, he's going to be going with some minion candies to help out. Looks like he's going to be trying to tank up as Alpha. Not a terrible idea, but Drizzy is going to be that Crystal.
Dart.
Yeah, look at the damage he's already taking and how little was returned onto Suijay there. Although
Yeah,
Yuma,
yeah, little,
never mind. That's
little.
going to be a nice rocket jump coming out from Drizzy as they go in there. Wolf Hands likely to fall
Yep,
as
he's
well. Drizzy's team picked up 2 quick kills, and Suijay needs to get out of there.
Yeah, but even then, he's just going to be taking some of that damage. Suijay is all weapon. He has a lot of potions, though, so he's going to be able to just kind of bring that back. You also do have that natural, health regeneration boost here, and well, a few minion mines will help clear out the way.
Oh!
Drizzy taking an uppercut to the face.
That scout trap plus a blood for blood did so much damage very quickly.
Yep.
Suijay, he does have to wait a while for that bar to fill back up if he wants to go again. Scout traps, they deal so much damage.
Yep. That particular minion. Question mark to him. All right, so Ellen though is going to be the
Never
return
mind,
weapon.
Suijay. Ow, that's gotta hurt. He gets
Yep,
jumped on
Ellen had
yet
that.
again. Drizzy keeping the pressure up here with Ellen DeGeneres, and now Wolf Hands needs to retreat.
Our first level 6 is going to be Drizzy, but the death from above does not land. So it's going to be Drizzy with all that crystal, looking for the death from above. The 4 barrages. Ellen DeGeneres, though, with all those rocket jumps in, those rocket leaps, she's looking to make it rain with the thunderstrikes.
Yeah, Wolf Hands got to be careful about biting off a little bit too much here as Ellen jumps forward, gets that stun
Yo!
down. A 4th barrage would be enough, but Yuma body blocks it. Drizzy actually taking a turret shot there, too. A few auto attacks probably would have picked up the kill if Suijay makes his way back into lane.
He has a reflex block now. He does not want to die once more, and I think he could actually just do some pain. As long as he gets the buff from Yuma, you might be able to take on Drizzy.
Drizzy, I would not have jumped forward there. He's stuck inside of the gauntlet, goes down. Great blast tremor coming across. Dart now
Dart's
is in a
out.
bad position. He's got the suicide bomber.
Looking for the
Across
stun.
onto the turret. Wolf Hands needs to be careful here.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
they're not going to be
close.
able to pick up the kill. Oh, that big red button was disgusting. Ellen DeGeneres sniping the one down. Dart going forward with the prime direction.
Unfortunately,
Yuma.
yeah, unfortunately,
Oh, man.
Yuma, she's throwing her hand up, saying, "What the?" But Dart now, they're just saying they're being good sports about it. Just gonna let Yuma chill out there. There
Very
we go.
kind of them.
Now she's moving.
All right, so Yuma's back in the game. Good news for her. You can see actually quite an even trade there. I mean, the big red button did a lot of work towards the end of the fight, though.
Well, you're not going to be seeing like huge dependencies on it because she's not crystal jewel.
Whoa, Drizzy keeps going in so deep.
Oh,
But this
Suijay,
time,
Suijay.
he's actually not doing too bad. Suijay got to be careful. Yuma does not land the ultimate there.
Suijay might be able to jump Ellen, but he will not be able to jump Dart. Wolf fans, though, if we get a stun combo, that could be it for Ellen.
Oh,
Yep,
and
there it
Ellen,
is.
yeah, that's going to be the combo. Stun into that blood for blood. Now Drizzy wants to return
No,
kill, though.
Drizzy,
Suijay
no,
in a very bad
Drizzy.
position. Drizzy
Never mind, he's
is
got
able
this.
to get out of there. Wolf Hands, he's taking a break.
Wolf
for a
fans
second.
saying, no, get out. No, get out. Yuma's still, unfortunately, not having the best of times. I think Wolf fans might be joining her in limbo.
All right, well, we're going to have a pause come out.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, we can pause this game? Why didn't we do that before?
I don't know. I think they were like, this will just take a second. And then
All right, so the comps are basically as predicted. There doesn't seem to be anything kind of weird about this one, but this is the fun thing about Battle Royale. You can't leave lane. It's 3v3. You can't go back. You can't leave lane. The only way to go shopping is to get your butt kicked.
Yes, and sometimes you actually intentionally get your butt kicked in order to go shopping.
Yep. There are
But
some
in my
nuances.
books, that's very bad manners. You should
Now-
fight with honor.
Very few people who know this, but when we were in Europe, I played 8 Battle Royale games, basically one a day, and I did not lose a single one of them.
You say very few people know this. You love to talk about
I
this.
do, I really do. It got to the point, so it was so good here with Yuma, and because we were practicing with Yuma, we were playing with her and against her. She knows this game in and out now. Some of those nuances will be intentionally killing yourself on a turret. That is a valid strategy in this game. Don't try to do it in any other version of this game, but Battle Royale, you can definitely do it.
See, this is the thing, though. You say it's a valid way to play the game. I say you're a scumbag for doing it.
Now, the only reason I brought up Yuma is that one game, she went Celeste 12-0-5 in 6 minutes.
That's pretty
And we
crazy.
finished the game. She never died. Went home with a lot of cash.
All right, well, we are back onto the Halcyon Hold right now. Wolfhand tries to get some pressure down onto Dart. Drizzy going for that death from above as well. Yuma not really able to get across it, get the damage down that she was looking for. Gotta wait for really everyone else to get back to lane from her.
Yeah, we got to wait for Suijay. He does have that Sora Blade and a little bit of attack speed on top of that, and he's trying to bulk up a bit. He needs to get that Aegis ready to go, because Drizzy's a problem.
Yeah, Dart jumping in here again, though. Look at how much damage he's taking.
Oh,
Ellen
nice blocks.
wants to find the stump, is not going to come across as Yuma goes down to the 4 barrage. Turnaround blast tremor does a little bit of work. Dart caught on the end of it. Suijay is doing a lot of damage right now. Fountain ticking, he picks up 2. Just barely able to make that fight work for himself. Dart gets away, but SweetJ picks up that double.
All right, so again, these guys are dead. This actually could be the first turret of the game. Dart, he's going to be able to heal up, but unfortunately, he has not died yet. 004 has 5,000 gold in his name. He can't die because then it would be an ace. The ace minions would just push through and very likely wreck another turret.
I like that he is being honorable, unlike you. You know?
Excuse me? You're going to have to back that one up now.
No, you've got to fight properly and die with honor if you're going to go to the shop.
Right, but he couldn't die right there because it would give an ace.
No, not right there, right? But he could have gone in earlier and spent
Now, if
a
they
lot
can
of money.
ace, I can see him taking out turrets and pushing in, but here's the fight.
All right, SweetJ trying to jump on the back line, finding Drizzy right now. Yuma is collapsed on by Ellen and Dart. Yuma coming out. Is it going to land? It does. Dart very low here, but he's got the suicide.
Boom.
So much damage coming across onto SweetJ and Wolfpan.
He's gonna reboot.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Sweet Generous keeps getting these blood for bloods back off the cooldown. He's doing so much damage. He's got to be careful with the forward barrage, though. It gets blocked somewhat by a minion. Wolf, he's ditched him. SweetJ still picks up another one. He's not going to be able to find all three, but
question
still
mark.
a great play. Dart yet to die again.
Well, again, he did technically die. He had an infinite reboot. He
Yes.
threw down the termination protocol. He had an infinite reboot. Now he's just trying to freeze that lane. And Wolf fans, he needs to be moving. There we go. Now he's moving. A little unfortunate that Wolf fans just seems to be hit by these again and again.
Yeah, he's actually trying to fight Dart right now.
Dart could totally just die, no problem.
Yeah, he could if he wanted to. but
8,000
he's-
gold to spend. Still has those minion candies on top of
That
it.
is so much money.
That is a
Like,
lot of
he
money.
buys so many items right now. Actually moving forward.
There we go.
Dart,
Yeah, he's gonna
no!
do it. Yeah.
Dart, I called you an honorable man earlier, but you're not.
This is how you win.
It's not about that.
It is. You have 8,000 gold to go spend. You have to do something.
I'm
See,
never
now we
playing
just-
Battle Royale
now-
with you.
Well, you're not welcome. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Ellen and Drizzy, they're just going to defend. And, I mean, they might lose turret, but when Dart comes back, I mean, now he's starting to go a little bit more offensive, you see.
Man, just picking up 3 completed items on
8
one
grand
shop.
can do that for you, man.
That's pretty incredible. He's got the Bone Saw with the Crucible and an Atlas Pauldron. So he's going to be the front line for his game.
So between the Thunder Strikes, between the forward barrages, I mean, just no problem defending out this turret. Dart's now up. No damage was taken. Now we are pushing forward here with Team Yuma and crew, but with the poke available here for Drizzy, I mean, if they get low enough, and now here comes Dart, this could be a disadvantageous fight for them.
It absolutely could as Drizzy starts to make his way forward here. Forward barrage coming across, but there's the gauntlet. SweetJ wants to make this fight happen. He's got a lot of damage right now, but he's going extremely low. He gets taken down. Drizzy, he is able to still survive through this. Wolf can't do the damage, and Yuma is in a bad spot as well. No one going down.
Drizzy, he's gonna
on
find
the
her.
side. Yeah, Drizzy's got the
That's
forward
an
barrage
ace.
here. Great plays coming out of Team Drizzy. They're going to find themselves the ace and surely a turret or two.
Now, Wolfhands is going to come back stronger, assuming he can actually stay connected. If you notice, he did not use that fountain until he's basically on the edge of death. That was an unfortunate turn for them, because Sweet Generous never got a fountain heal out of it.
Yeah, that would have been a big deal for Sweet Generous. He needs that little bit of extra oomph to stay in the fight for a little bit longer. Keep getting that blood for blood reset. 3 turrets in 1 push picked up for Team Drizzy.
Yeah, but we are about to respawn here, so that's 2-man defender, 3-man defender coming up here in 5 seconds. They might be able to get a turret, but they can't end game, I don't think.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. They're already down through that first turret. No minions to get rid of the shield on the Vein Crystal
Dart's got to
turrets.
run. Dart's got to run
Be
away.
careful, Dart. He needs to maybe use that termination protocol once he gets kind of low here. Ellen going for the big red button. Oh, if he'd used that maybe a little bit further away, could have been good. Dart should be falling here. I don't think he's going to be able to pick up any kills.
Yeah, this is going to be the counter ace. Dart just wants to go spend, I guess. 3,000, nearly 4,000 across the board for all of them. Now, the fun thing is, like, the timers are starting to tick down, right? Dart finally does die. They are so far back in their base right now that Wolfhands, Yuma, and Sweet Generous, like, by the time they get to the turrets, they're going to have some defenders spawn.
They will actually, so it is, you know, that is one good thing for them. But I think overall here, just given the fact that all of those turrets are down, Team Drizzy has a lot more leeway here. You know, they can really make the plays happen.
Look at Wolfhands, pure cooldown.
I like that.
He stacks double the cooldown. If he was going to get that hourglass, I'm kind of curious he didn't go into an aftershock. So the counter ace does flow through. We got our defenders up. We lose out 1 turret. Dart will be up in 10. But again, like between the wave clear of Drizzy and Ellen, there's not really a lot of pushing potential here.
Yeah, Drizzy especially with that forward barrage can wipe through these waves with a Shatter Glass and a Broken Myth.
And now an
It's
Eve
gonna
on
be
top
very
of it.
hard to push in without killing him.
Ellen, though, has now stacked the Tornado Trigger with a broken point, breaking point even. I call it a broken point because it's usually pretty broken. And Dart has a Weapon Infusion and a Tornado Trigger.
Dart doing a bit more damage, I think, here is going to be good because He does need to be a threat on the
Body bush!
defensive. That's going to be
They're looking for Drizzy.
across, so Drizzy needs to be careful here. Trying to run away, but he doesn't have the backup from his team.
That's it for him.
Stunned up
He's
yet
done.
again. He's got
done.
the reflex block. Surrey strike, that buys him a huge amount of space.
No.
And Generous can't get another blood for blood down. He's got to pop those shields. Finally managing to go in here, but Wolfhands
Serious?
is going to be going down. Sweet J nearly dies to Drizzy alone. Drizzy making some insane plays this game. Another ace for the side of Umarankin and Co. That's going to be game, I think.
Yep. Now you can push down from here because they're not deep inside the base. They're at the midpoint. Ellen does not even care. He says, I got enough damage. I can do this. Now, we did actually pick up the Aftershock there for Wolfhands. I was curious what that Hourglass was going to be doing. And, well, again, like Tornado Trigger, Breaking Point, Sorrow Blade. Ellen takes, what, 2 shots and it's done? And that's going to be game right there. Turrets do not decrease your death timer on this one. And 14-11, it's my team, my boy Drizzy, bringing it game 1.
Well, I guess rock, paper, scissors didn't work so well.
I don't know why you keep doubting me. You call me dishonorable. You think I'm terrible. It's just like, come on, man. All the evidence is against you.
In any
here.
case, let's break that game down as much as you can break down a Battle Royale.
We did.
I think, to be honest, Dark's itemization, because it bought a lot of time for Drizzy to maneuver around.
Yeah, you go. Somebody goes full tank early on, especially if you can get first fountain by first death. It goes a long way for some of these fights. I got a feel for Wolfhands, though. I mean, he had some pretty harsh disconnects.
Yeah, he definitely had some trouble in this game, but he gave it his all. And towards that last fight, actually, I felt like he was doing quite a lot of work, but couldn't really seal the deal.
Now, Ellen DeGeneres just unfortunately was not able to spend as much. Drizzy, kind of coming out ahead in terms of cash between the carries, but Dart, 7,500 gold. Overall, the gold, back in paper. Overall, the gold, not that different between the teams. 5,000s compared to the 6,000s or so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of that gold was spent in more influential increments for the side of Drizzy's team, though. Like,
Right, 'cause
for
they died
example,
more often.
Yeah, like Dart
Except for Dart.
dying and getting that massive power spike.
Yep.
It's hard to gauge when you go into a skirmish how strong your opponent's going to be in that situation. Because they leave with nothing and come back with 3 full items. It's like you've just joined a different game. Like, it's completely insane.
It's like you used the level up boosts in an RPG. You start off level 1, the next day you're level 90, and all the NPCs are like, what? What just happened there? Okay, fine. Only show a Jackson. He's the prettier one anyways. But you know what? No, Zekin's the prettiest one. I want to hear from him. Or not.
Hello.
There we go.
There we go.
There
Hey,
we go.
guys. All right, this is absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, that game was, it's Battle Royale. Both
That
teams
shirt.
played pretty well, and this team lost, so.
Well, I mean, I gotta say I was right. I'm sorry, Zekint. Rest in peace. You can go cry it off. Forecourt, we did it. We got the predictions right there. But I mean, Drizzy, Alan, Dart, they played phenomenally in that game. The weapon damage was nuts, and Drizzy was just dancing around those fights. Surrey striking here, Surrey striking there. They couldn't lock him down.
Oh, man, Drizzy, that last fight especially, like, he was so incredibly low. He was down to, like, a sliver of health, and he just danced around, so we was trying to get him onto him with the Arden.
Yeah.
Just didn't work.
No, he couldn't do it. He even used the turret, like the dead turret, to get on the other side with the Surrey strike. Like, it was the most annoying thing when you're trying to chase this guy and she's just jumping around like that, just waltzing around the house, and only in a lane, to deal with, right? So pretty good job out of those guys. Of course, they random those heroes, but a lot of times, even though you get kind of like carry type of hero, they take it into like that roam support kind of role. But these guys, they were all offense.
Hey, man, it's Battle Royale. You all offense all the time. It's super fun.
Yeah. All right. I mean, sometimes it does pay off to get a little bit of roam action in there. And I think we're good to go. We're good to go for game 2 right now. So without further ado, back to action. Jackson and Forecourt Jester. Take it away, guys.
You mean Forecourt is always right? That one? Action fail
No,
Jackson?
definitely not. Definitely
Action to fail Jackson?
This time, Sweet J and my boys got this.
All right, let's try it. Rock, paper, scissors. Now,
I
see,
knew you'd
last
go for
time
the same one.
Right, but last time you said you'd win and you didn't. So I went for the same, you went for the same, as predicted, and now Drizzy's going to 2-0.
We'll see. I think my
Mind
guys got
games.
this. They got
Mind
this.
games, right
It depends on what they random, which we don't know just yet.
The Battle Royale gods will hopefully favor
I'm trying to peek.
a little bit. Yeah, I can't see him from here.
I can't.
Drizzy
I
know
can't- I
that.
can't really see
Drizzy
it.
knows that I got his back though. I subbed to him for 8 months last championship. So
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at these picks. Wolfhand is going to be on that jewel. We got Black Feather for Sweet Generous. Rankin on the Taka.
Oh god,
On your
that's scary.
side- on your side, you got Ellen DeGeneres on Scarf, Kestrel for Drizzy, and Koshka for Dart. I don't know, that's pretty scary also. I mean, good
It's triple
poke out of-
ranged
yeah,
against triple melee.
triple ranged.
Yeah. No, sorry, that's right. Dart. Yeah. I saw Koshka. I was like, that's
I
totally
mean,
somebody
darts
right.
are a ranged weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You
No,
throw
you got it.
darts.
See,
So,
I even out-mind game
kinda
myself
works.
on that one. You're right. Does look like it's going to be more of a tank, Koshka. And there's those mini candies again, looking for that push. Weapon, Kestrel, and Ellen DeGeneres. If she wasn't going to go for Crystal, I'd have to really call her Battle Royale credentials into question. But look at Wolf Hands.
That's rather a lot of crystal bits. And see already the damage on Drizzy.
Yeah, but the good thing is he actually does have an energy battery on top of it. So he will have a little bit of sustain, but the poke just feels
Oh, wow.
insane.
Ellen DeGeneres gets obliterated right there. Maybe got to be careful here, taking a few turret shots, but that was the build we were talking about. Wolfman's doing so much burn.
What? No, no, no. Why is Wolfman's not tanking and Yuma is not Crystal? Why is this a thing?
Dart's
Goodbye,
got to be
Dart.
careful
Goodbye,
right
Dart.
now. He's very low, but DeGeneres is the first to fall. Yuma can't get in range for another Kaiten. Didn't have it off cooldown, so Dart's going to stay alive for the time being. 1 kill to 1.
Okay, so Yuma's actually opting to go into a bit more of the utility. We'll have to team against an aftershock. It's kind of vital.
Yuma's doing a lot of damage on the Drizzy right now, but he's got to back away,
Ooh,
given
so
the
close.
scout trap. That Glimmer Shot nearly landing. We've got Ellen DeGeneres back as well, so Spitfires could finish up Yuma here.
Spitfires and Goops are going to be actually kind of key to trying to control Yuma, especially since we have basically this big collapse comp. All you got to do is goop yourself, put it on fire, try to get away, and then come back with a Dragon Breath.
All right, another jump forward.
Oh,
Wolf
great
as he
stun.
finds 2. Nice AoE damage from him, but it's the first to fall. Now Drizzy trying to kite away. That's going to
Golden
be yummy.
stun.
Catnip Frenzy, beautiful timing.
One shot.
Drizzy does not land the 1-shot 1 kill, but it does not matter. That was a beautiful combo of plays coming out from this game.
Now, I'm very curious if Ellen DeGeneres is going to go into alternating current. Now, I've done alternating current Scarf on this. I've done alternating current Celeste. It's actually surprisingly powerful. When you're getting jumped like this, your auto attacks just hit so much harder.
Yuma, can she defend here? I mean, she's trying to jump on the Dart right now, but the turret already so low. Looks like Drizzy pulled aggro
So
somehow.
close.
I think if he hadn't pulled aggro there, they probably would have hit the turret quite easily.
Perhaps.
DeGeneres
Yep.
trying to jump forward.
Here comes the
Dragon's Breath in return. Ellen DeGeneres trying to force
Turret,
it back
turret,
here.
turret.
Wolfman should be able to find this kill. Drizzy, he's low. Oh, the big red button annihilates him, and Dart should be following. Not
That's an
too
ace.
far
That's an
from
ace.
now.
Yep.
It's an ace picked up for Wolfhands and his team. Very well played.
Suijay's not going to get the ace regeneration because he did tank out that turret, but this is going to be a little bit more shopping here for Red. They will lose out this turret. Now, with that Dragon's Breath, they were able to actually even out the turret numbers, so this will actually just bring us some parity. But still, I mean, this is now going to be the first time to go shopping here for us on Red.
Yeah, that's going to be big as well. I think Drizzy having the Sorrow Blade now
Yep.
is especially important. Yuma,
Oh, Yuma got destroyed.
no one.
It was intentional, though.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it was intentional. but no
Hey,
one here
hey,
knows.
hey. So when your team does it, it's not dishonorable?
It is totally. I don't play
Okay.
with people like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess you just don't play Battle Royale, period.
Tension Bow by Yuma Rankin. That's interesting.
She's also, oh, that's not going to be an aftershock. Okay.
I don't know about the Tension Bow. I'm not
That's
sure
not
I
gonna
like
be an
that.
after. No, that could totally still be an aftershock.
One
I think
shot,
she's
one
going
kill,
proc.
quite
I think
fun.
she's going to go tank proc. Just like Lance. Just like you do in Lance.
We'll have to see as Drizzy starts to get some good poke down there. Missed the 1-shot 1 kill, though. I'm not sure where he was aiming that one. Maybe thinking that Yuma was stealth nearby.
Missed that.
Oh, jump forward. Wolf Hands, he doesn't get the stun this time. Look at the turnaround
Suijay.
damage. Beautiful plays out of Drizzy and
Oh, the
Suijay.
stun.
Dart with
They're
a
going for it.
great yummy catnip frenzy.
Stun. Oh.
Yuma going down. It's an ace in return picked up by Dart in his team.
The camo. They actually stun blocked her. So that's an ace. Now they're pushing forward. This is going to be, look at those guys coming in. That's 3 turrets. And, well, it's not quite the triple range, but the double range against the triple melee is really starting to show a lot of this early game power. And now we're already on top of
Wow.
these turrets on Crystal at the 4-minute mark.
This is an extremely quick-paced battle royale, and battle royales are normally pretty quick-paced. Drizzy and his team really starting to push their advantage here. That said, they've got to be careful now because it's hard for them.
Shot, miss.
Yeah, he's gonna miss that one. It's hard for them to take the Vayne Crystal first because they've got to deal with 2 at the same time.
If they get an ace, though, they win.
That is true.
If they ace right here at this position on the map, it's game over.
371 crit coming in from that corner shot on Drizzy.
Yep. Well,
Next time
just
he's able to buy it, it's gonna be so scary.
that lucky coin of his right there.
Yeah.
That's the crit coming in.
Doing so much work.
So the fastest game I did in Europe, I did one game with Mr. K. Cool and Sona, our European caster equivalent, and we beat the enemy team in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
That is insane.
It was pretty insane. We were triple ranked against triple melee. So when I saw the comps, I was like, this is, I mean, the early game is going to be very dominated by the double range. So, because I thought they were triple ranked at the time. Still, it's not over because with the collapse comps, if they catch, somebody a bit too far forward, you can still turn this around. If you get ace though, you lose.
Yeah, look at the poke damage coming out of here, and no one can go and regenerate health on the base platform for Wolf Hands and those guys. So at the moment, you saw a fountain pop by Yuma. That's basically their biggest way of dealing with the poke. And now it's gone for the next 50 seconds or so. Drizzy's starting to move forward here, get that damage down onto the turret.
I have to question why Sweet Genesis is in the tank and Yuma's not just pure crystal talking.
Oh, this is a good fight though. Wolfman's trying to jump forward, but he steps inside the active cam. A big red button isn't going to find Ellen DeGeneres. He's healing up just barely on the backside. Wolfhands should be falling here. Doesn't actually land the stun before he goes down as well. But Drizzy, can he do the damage he needs? He's got the active camo, trying to kite backwards here. Sweet Genesis should be able to find
Boom,
this one.
there we go.
All right, so they defend.
This isn't over. Yeah, this isn't over. Once you start getting to a fairly good stun, sometime past level 10, past level, yeah, I know, right?
2 Tyrants monocles.
Yeah, that's how much money you had.
Those are just Tyrant's glasses now. They're not monocles anymore.
I have no response. Once you pass level 10, past level 11, the triple melee do get a bit of a spike because their skills have kind of started overpowered. And now, if they can so Ellen DeGeneres is moving way forward. She has nobody here to support. If they jump her and they get a kill, they can start a Lemmings effect, they can still come back. Still, though, you get aced, it's still game over. You're basically still on the ribbons edge.
All right, well, one-shot, one kill doing so much damage to Sweet Generes. He's trying to connect with the turret right now, but he's got to be very careful. With 35 seconds on the death timer, this could be a position that Ellen DeGeneres, Drizzy, and Dart can win. They just need to go in there, maybe take down the 2 turrets as quickly as possible. Just ignore Human Wolfhand, maybe burst them both down very quickly. Either way, I think they have a good chance.
Dart has a contraption, which I find vastly funny.
I mean, scout traps are good, and also having the ability to spot Yuma when she goes stealth with a flare is massive.
You're quite right. We just don't get to really see contraption in normal play anymore.
Has a nice niche. Oh, the crits are insane. 529 every time. Drizzy going for the glimmer shots. 1 shot, 1 kill. Landing
Plus, Weejay, lead the charge, man. Lead the charge.
Is back. Is he going to be able to make this one happen? Drizzy trying to get the stun down. Catnip onto him. Big red button is going to do a lot of damage there, but Drizzy just barely able to get out with the stun, with the active camo. It's going to be a 2-0 victory to Drizzy and the gang. Unfortunately, I lost that one. Yeah.
So,
for you.
what was all that in the beginning about how you knew I was going to do it and it was all predictable?
Well, I knew I still metagamed you with the rock paper scissors. That was the intent.
Yeah, all right. Tell yourself that you can win the metagame. We'll win the game. Yeah, that's right, Drizzy. We got each other right there. Good job, team. Well done. Looks like they won something. I have no idea what they won. Rome, what did they win? All I see is a girl on it. They won headsets. Congratulations, guys. Winners of the VRs. They win themselves some beautiful, I have to assume, Samsung at this point.
Wait, they're getting them too? This isn't how competition works.
This is the society we live in, AJ. It's a product of our upbringing.
I don't condone this.
Participation medals.
So, the big takeaway from that for me was that crits on Kestrel are pretty ridiculous.
Big takeaway for me is that I'm right.
The big takeaway from them was the headsets.
The headsets, yeah. Yuma actually gave me a great name for this back in EU, Foresight Jester.
Foresight Jester?
Foresight Jester. He has the foresight to call these predictions. And, I mean, it feels good to be right. That's all I can say.
I'm Reaction Jackson because I reacted to your paper thing so quickly.
Love it. All right, Humanists, what did you love about that? Drizzy, my boy, we won.
Yeah, we did it. Drizzy and the Jam Fam holding it down in the Halcyon Fold, doing incredible work. Zekent, it's okay. Console yourself. Look, I mean, Rome just came over like Santa Claus and dropped some headphones on. We were participating.
Yes.
We were. So what is this? The Samsung level wireless headphones. Nice.
I'm down. I can use some headphones.
I'm down. Yeah, you can always use a nice set of headphones. So there you guys have it. That was a best of 3 battle royale for these community members. We'll have more battle royale tomorrow as well. But that was pretty fun. These guys back and forth. Wolf fans, Yuma. Next time, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, CJ couldn't quite carry the team, but he did his best.
Yeah, I'm sure Sweetjay maybe took a little bit of a backseat and just kind of team player there.
Yeah, I gotta say though, Drizzy in that matchup, that Kestrel was just It was ridiculous.
You know, you know how I was saying earlier, like, Kestrel is one of those heroes I need to work on. Like, I was actually asking Drizzy, like, because I've seen him play that Kestrel before. I was saying, how, you know, what's the build? How do you go about this? And he told me that's exactly how he executed and just dominated in there. So.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. I mean, the double time Michael coming out along with Starblade, just so much damage over and over and over. I mean, the other team just stood no chance.
It's ridiculous. The Glimmer shots, just the basic attacks, and, of course, cleaning up with that one-shot, one-kill, of course. So tomorrow, guys, we have more action coming your way. Of course, our pro teams are going to be playing. We're going to be kicking things off at 12 Pacific time. And right then, we'll be starting with TSM versus Hunters. That'll be here live on...
That's today.
Oh, well, no. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. We're going to be kicking off with Battle Royale tomorrow. And after that, so that'll be the third place decider match at 1 o'clock. We'll move on. Sometimes these games last about an hour. You know, sometimes it's a little bit faster, but we'll move through that schedule. Then we'll have the grand final. So that will be TSM versus Invincible Armada. Thank you for correcting me, Zekent. And then after that, we'll finish up with a little bit more Battle Royale action. Of course, it'll be basically, you know, what you saw here, just kind of like that slugfest down the lane. These guys just going ham.
Oh, yeah, it'll be absolutely fantastic to watch. I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as brackets go, what can we expect tomorrow? I think, you know, like I said, we're going to be leading off first game. We're going to be having Hunters G2 Kinguin. That's going to be right there, your third place decider match. And I think that's going to be actually a pretty good game right there. Hard to predict. If I had to guess, based off just today, I would say maybe G2 going in there.
G2 is looking pretty tough. I mean, it looked rough for them today, but I mean, they are a very solid squad coming in. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Hunters and G2 match up because they're both very rotation-oriented teams.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, your grand finals are going to be Team Solomid representing North America against this Chinese juggernaut team, Invincible.
Nope, Korean.
Korean.
Come on, Humanist. Come on.
It's been a long day, Invincible Armada. Guys, I mean, give me a break. Give me a break, Zekent. This guy, I'm doing my best. I got Gabe Vizzle smirking at me here in the background. There's a lot of good guys here. Nerds for Revenge, we saw Aloha, Gabe Vizzle, Hardek, walking around Hardek OP, and just a lot of good people here. So if you're at E3, make sure you come by the booth. Say hi. We're here at the Samsung Galaxy stage. You can actually play some Vainglory over here. We have a bunch of Samsung Galaxy S7s. They're all booted up with Vainglory. Everybody's playing them just nonstop here in the background. Make sure to tweet at us if you're watching this. Hashtag Vainglory E3. Let us know how you're enjoying the event and what you're doing. So, Zekent, I'm Humanist. We had a good time here today. We'll be back at 12 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.